Hello, friends. We are at the Sungates radio studio. My name is Rita and I am talking today with absolutely amazing woman, doctor, and I am so glad to introduce her to our listeners. Dr. Marina Kostina is psychologist. She's a doctor. She has PhD in psychology. She's also Reiki master who combines psychology, energy, and technology in all her services and courses to help you get the core blocks and remove them so you can live a more fulfilling life, which is amazing. Hello, Marina.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
That's great to hear. And today, our topic today is such important topic as I see it. We're going to talk about self-love, self-esteem, and how Marina, using her practices, can help everybody who who'll be talking to her, who can find her service useful, help to block, to remove the self-esteem and use it for self-development and self-growth.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
So, what the core of the self-esteem? Why we have low self-esteem? Why it's such important?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for bringing it up. First of all, I am, and it's just a little correction, I'm not a doctor in psychology. I have an officially doctor of education, and I studied psychology as a part of my dissertation.
Okay,
So
good. Thank you.
just to make sure, I'm not a clinical psychologist yet. I studied a lot of psychology, and I worked in schools and colleges and, dealing with souls, many, many souls, and in my energy practice and my own journey, because self-esteem, there are lots of factors that really affect our self-esteem, and my road was very long one, so I am combining all of the knowledge I have to create a program for people who actually want to love themselves. And self-love does not equal self-esteem. So I'm going back to your question.
Yes, great.
There are three components of self-love. Self-esteem is step one. I always say that when you graduate from that state, you are like a dilettante, from the Italian diletto, which is in love. You're infatuated, but you don't love. As we know, infatuation is not real deep love that we want to develop. So talking about self-esteem is step one. And there are two more steps that are going deeper and deeper and deeper. And then when three of them together are on the right level, then we can talk about self-love.
Wow, that's huge.
Yes, it
And
is. It's not an easy thing.
it's not easy. It's not easy to get there, right?
Well, with the right tools, it doesn't have to take years, but it is a complex concept.
So what the self-esteem is really about?
Thank you. So the first level is self-esteem. I always say that in this level, we deal with a state, creating the state where we are able to move forward. And it's number one, because if you have low self-esteem, as you probably know, we are paralyzed in life. We don't move. We don't want to. We can't even talk about deeper meanings. The Maslow's triangle of needs. You gotta satisfy the basic needs first, right? So for me, self-esteem would be on the base, kind of like a survival, motivating
Survival mechanism.
that allows you to move forward to then self-concept. That's the second level, and then self-acceptance. We cannot talk about self-acceptance if you have a low self-esteem. Okay.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I had a client, the girl who is 16 years old,
Huh?
and the main reason she came, she had her physical problems, but the main reason she came, she didn't like herself because she was overweighted. But as to me, she looked great. She looked wonderful, and she was only 16 years old. But she was such an aggravation with herself that, and she's just teenager.
Yes,
How,
absolutely. The self-image is very important, and that's a second step. But going back to the first step, self-esteem. Self-esteem is the most is the least strong concept out of the three steps, right? Because the whole word esteem
Mhm.
presupposes duality. We're always comparing, right? Esteem, estimate. We
Mm.
estimate against something, right? It needs to be lower or higher, right? You see what I'm talking about, right?
Oh,
So,
that's what it's coming from. Okay.
yes. So the whole journey to self-love is from going to from duality, where we compare things and
Right.
pushing against, to go into self-acceptance, where it's oneness. Hmm.
Oh, there is always someone who looks better, feels better,
Yes,
uh,
you're gonna go
talks
drive
better.
yourself crazy.
Yeah, so we're looking at all those people who are around us, and we always see someone who in our eyes are better.
Exactly. So at the first level, I always teach my people that come to me to focus. We gotta just get attention to the right spot. Get attention to yourself as opposed to others. So getting out of that, healing that Facebook syndrome, like I call it, where you look at everybody's profiles and everybody's happy and oh my gosh, and my life is so horrible compared to everybody, right? So we're healing that syndrome. So by bringing attention, as I mentioned, it's not very deep yet. It's not forming self-concept, but at least if you learn how to get attention from things that take away your energy to things that empower you, and
Mm,
focusing on yourself, focusing on the present moment as opposed to, how we're like going in the future or past. And of course, keep practicing, focusing on the positive. Because as you know, our vibration, yeah,
right,
our emotion has vibration of frequency,
right.
right? And if we are overall experiencing lower frequencies, that's what we end up with in life. So our goal is not to be always on cloud nine, because it's impossible, as you
Right.
know, but create a habitual frequency that is higher, so it attracts better events. Okay.
So whenever we have a negative thought, it would be a good thing just change it. It's not easy, I know. But
It's not, but there are lots of NLP practices that I actually like, the neuro linguistic programming
hmm
practices that
right.
really help you quickly. Again, we're on this level, we talk about kind of fixes, right? Kind of give you tools to survive.
So quick fix.
Quick fix.
Right?
Yeah, I have a self-esteem booster that, can help you get ready for the interview, like before the interview or before a major date or something important. You do this technique, and for that time being, you are okay, right? So it's a survival level, quick fixes, something like that. But first, you need to understand where you are.
Mm.
What is your self-esteem? Do you want to try?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
So we're going to
Okay.
use my favorite staircase technique. But Rita, you have to be very vulnerable now, because everybody will know your answers.
Mm,
You ready?
yes, I am ready.
You're
Yes.
wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so I want you to close your eyes for 1 second and just start breathing deeply, and bring in front of yourself an image of a staircase. Start looking at it in more details. What color is this? What material is it made of? How many steps does it have? And now, without thinking, the first image that comes to your mind, imagine yourself on that staircase. Did you get the image?
hmm Yes.
Wonderful. Now, you can open your eyes and tell us, first of all, about your staircase. How many stairs did your staircase have?
I think it had about 10 stairs,
Okay.
just
And
approximately, yeah.
okay. And where were you?
I were somewhere in the middle.
In the middle. Okay.
Middle.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being open. First of all, I just want to tell everybody, self-esteem is a constantly changing thing, right?
Right.
Because it's not based on real something solid. We've talked about this, right?
Yes,
So,
we're
for example,
changing all the time.
yeah, like today I didn't get enough sleep. I slept 5 hours today, and my whole day is going a little bit shaky. So my self-esteem might not be where it usually is, right? Um, so of course, I just want to let everybody know that if you have a staircase of 10 steps, even if you place yourself on step 9, that's not good enough. Why wouldn't you put your beautiful self on step 9? When we're in a relationship, Rita, you expect your partner to treat you as 10, correct?
Of course.
But how can they treat you as 10 if we ourselves habitually, I'm not talking about the
Oh,
present
that's
moment,
okay.
but habitually placing ourselves on 9 or maybe even 3,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which often happens. So, what I want you to do right now is close your eyes again, go back to your staircase. Remember where you are? Do you see yourself there on that stair?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Now, without thinking, very quickly, place your life partner on the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Now open your eyes. You don't have to admit it to us if you don't want to. We didn't prepare this conversation, so you don't have to. But you understand.
Yes.
If you don't want to share, that's okay. I want, hopefully, the audience that is following us is doing the same thing
Right.
along with you. Of course, if your partner is above you, it tells you a lot. Usually, we find ourselves in the relationship where we're over functioning because we're trying to be good to reach to the level of our partner. If your partner is lower, right,
Right.
then it's also not the best situation because it's probably we are having other type of issues where maybe sometimes we don't give as much or we don't respect as much the partner. The ideal situation is when we are on the same level. Why did we do this test? It's a really good test to start looking at main people in your life. Where do you place them? That gives you a lot of insight into the relationship you have with your friends, with your colleagues, with your boss, right? With your
Yes.
children.
That.
And knowing that self esteem will always thrive to have it high. But we don't want it to be overly high, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was my question. Where is that borderline where we feel? I mean, it's ego that drive us, and everybody have it. So
Absolutely.
where is this borderline?
And of course, at level 1 self esteem stage where we practice, it might be changing, right? But when we get to self acceptance, you will place yourself on top and you will place everybody else that is important to you on the same level, not higher, not lower, right? Because nobody is higher than you,
Right.
should not be, but also they should not be lower than you because having low self esteem prohibits you from keeping your motivation, achieving things in life, right? But
Mm-hmm.
having overly high self esteem where you place everybody else lower, that's also creates situation that is not very balanced, where you think you got it all, but in reality, you don't give yourself room for growth, and you become a little bit more arrogant and self-centered, right?
Yes.
So we
Yes.
want to have that. We want to strive for high, but not overly high.
That's great. So, on your workshop and courses, you're teaching and giving practical material how to get into the right level, in the higher level of
Yes.
the self-esteem.
Absolutely. So I have my big umbrella is the self-love, but it consists of three small courses. One is self-esteem. We talked about it. Second is self-concept, and third is self-acceptance. So today we're talking about self-esteem. In self-esteem, we will be practicing your focus, keeping your focus on yourself, as opposed to others. So we will be talking about how to stop being jealous of others, how to stop comparing yourselves. We talked about the Facebook syndrome. The second focus is on the present, right? I will give you practical tools on how to use your past in order to boost your self-esteem very quickly, but at the same time, not use your. It's great to think about the future,
Right.
to set the goals.
Oh,
That's it.
yeah. Most of the time, we are in the back, in the past, are reminding ourselves of the situations or people who we were with, and how good was it or how bad was it. We're not.
Absolutely.
Most of the time, we're not here and now.
Exactly.
Unfortunately,
Exactly. And the beautiful book, of course, by Eckhart Tolle,
right.
The Power of Now, gives you lots of insights why we want to be in the now, because that's the only place to be. But I will give you practical tools which come from energy field, neuro-linguistic programming, psychology and things like that. So that's the second focus. And the third focus is on the positive, right? That is a tough one because, our neurons have little tails, right? And they have this neuronal connection. And once we figure out how to connect one event with a feeling, yes, and it was a strong emotional impact, then we're going to jump there automatically. And we will think that that's the only way to react to a certain situation because we've done it thousand times, right? So we're going to learn how to change, how to break those neuronal connections, and how to create new ones. Okay? That's kind of an architecture of your psyche, right? Kind of fun way. But we're going to restructure it, okay? Remodel it.
And it makes it fun when you are in a group of like-minded people in it's in action and everything is not stable, but we're kind of moving and learning in a fun way that
You know,
makes a
you,
difference.
I love that what you just brought up, the word fun. Just in general, we adults, and I do a lot of energy reading. You probably notice too, because you do a lot of energy reading. What I notice is that we adults don't have that energy of joy,
As children,
right?
right?
Present in
Yes.
our aura. Our aura is missing the yellow colors, the joy. It's just.
My aura is always partially green and partially yellow. So
Well, you are the master.
no, well, that's my self-esteem talking right away. Oh no, I am not a master.
Well,
Yeah, that's another thing.
right. But actually, the feeling of lightness and fun and play, that is a really great sign of a true master. If you look at the true masters, they're always joyous. They're light. They're not heavy and serious. We're taught that we need to be this professional, succeed, conquer, right? But that kills the whole beautiful joy vibrates over 500, right? It's about 600, right? So love, joy, and peace has a
Yeah.
megahertz, right? A frequency of 500 and up. That's where we want to be. So
It's where we create on those levels. When
yes.
we down low, down below, we are depressed, we are angry, and nothing really happened. Nothing happened for us or the world around.
Absolutely. And we attract like
Oh yes.
frequencies and people. So if you have lots of people who really are getting on your nerves, you got to look at your vibration. Where are you on the vibrational scale? So yes, we're in my training. That's what we do. And seeing other people like today, thank you for being so vulnerable and telling us that you placed yourself in the middle. You could have, told us another story, but seeing that other people are going through the same thing
Right.
and it's normal, you know It's normal. And looking at people, we always look at somebody and, we see more them as smarter, more beautiful, I don't know, more successful. And then realizing that those people also have struggles with self-esteem. That's kind of, in a way, comforting in a good way.
Right, right,
Right?
right.
So just tells you that all of us have that. Uh,
So
mhm.
how soon are we gonna see you teaching the course?
Well,
Do you have
I
any?
hope that we're going to be doing this already next month. So it
Beautiful.
would be lots of fun to talk about this and also discuss where your, I don't want to talk about your low self-esteem. Where the lesson, right? And this comes from. How do we get that? How do we get it? Because we're not really born necessarily with low self-esteem. We could get it from our mom, when we're, in the womb of mother, but usually we get it in the like, when we are in our childhood,
Mm-hmm.
just absorbing not only how our parents treat us or treat each other, but how do they treat themselves. If I am watching my mom loving herself, that's what I am gonna take, because kids, no matter what you tell them, it's how you act what matters, right? So the dad, did he love himself, right? Can you see that he had
The
like,
handsome that he's proud to be handsome man in your father in
yeah.
amazing man in your life. Yes, of
Yeah, so
course.
that's important. But also the feeling later on that something happens in our life and we get stuck in the vibration. You are doing Reiki, that our third chakra, that's where our self-esteem,
Right.
self-concept is. It gets blocked by the feeling of shame.
Yeah, and the yellow color, which is the
Yes.
same.
So
Yes, yeah, to
yeah.
bring joy.
Yes. So when the shame blocks the joy, we cannot be joyful about ourselves. And shame, as you know, is the lowest vibrating, one of the lowest vibrating emotions. So it's 20. If we want to jump to 500 from 20, that's a long jump.
Right, right. And doesn't matter what happened in the past. Everything is possible, and it's always possible to change. Everything
Absolutely.
can be changed.
Yes. As you know, and I know, because we work with energies and we watch them, the
Right.
energy can be changed like this. Right now is a good time to change.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you're open for change, just follow us on the Facebook, and we announced how very soon when Marina's classes or courses will be up and running, and it'll be great to see everybody to join us, and I'll be there first.
Oh, wonderful. Thank
You can
you.
have my word on it.
Thank you so much, Rita. Thank you.
So, absolutely. Thank you, Marina, for sharing your thoughts and your insights about self-esteem and self-love. And we'll be talking more on Sungates Radio. Most likely, we'll be talking every Thursday, and Marina gonna bring her interview other people, which are gonna help us to look at the insights and the outsides, and we'll bring that all together.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Bye bye.
Bye bye bye.